I'm sitting in 11th grade.
Okay.
So, and Alex, can you introduce yourself
Okay,
first?
sir. Now my chance to introduce myself. So first of all, my name is Orlins Rafi Bowie, and my friend call me Orlins, and I'm from or born in North Jakarta.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you can call me Orlins, and I am 11th grade student, same like my friend Muaz beside me. Yeah, and
Yeah.
here I do or joining UI/UX designer lesson in my class.
Great.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, maybe that's my short introduction. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Very good. Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
so maybe we'll start today's session. This our first session. Okay, so Bismillah. Okay, hello guys. Welcome to the first session or the first episode of Weekend English Talk. So today I would like to introduce myself as the first host or host number one. My name is Muaz Ibn Safar from 11 CKJ, a network engineer student. And right here we have Orlens. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Orlins Rafi Bowie, and I'm from 11 DKV, now as UX designer. That's my short introduction. Thank you all.
Okay, so today in this occasion we have a special guest, and that is Mr. Benjamin. So today, Mr. Benjamin will be our speaker, and he will deliver the topic for today's occasion. Okay, to Mr. Benjamin, you may deliver the topic.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure what kind of a format we were going to have, if this was going to be more discussion or interview or what. So I have information that I can share, or we can make it more interactive. What's your preference?
Maybe you can deliver first what you're going to deliver to
Okay.
us, the information, and maybe later we can discuss it.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for inviting me to do this. I'm very glad to join. I'm really, I think it's awesome that you guys are learning English. I know it's hard. It's one of the hardest languages in the world, I think, for people to learn. So you are tackling a really hard job, and I'm proud of you for doing it and for learning it. So whatever level you're at, maybe some of you are just starting and struggling. Some of you maybe have been doing it for years, and it still feels hard. But I'm proud of you for doing it. You are doing something that a lot of people can't do or don't have the opportunity to. So good job. That's really encouraging to hear how the emphasis that your school has on that. And I was excited too to hear that Richard is a part of the team there now. I've known Richard for maybe 1 or 2 years, and I think he's going to do a great job. He knows English really well, so listen to him and get ideas from him about how to learn. Let me tell you who I am. If I had a blank business card, so imagine that I had just a white business card and I were going to put on it, what is the most important thing about Benjamin? The most important thing about Benjamin is not my job. I love my job. The most important thing is not my career. The most important thing is not my family, even though I love my family. The most important thing is definitely not my country, even though I love my country. The most important thing about me is that I am loved by God. I have been adopted into his family because of Jesus, and that has changed everything for me. My job, career, family, Those are wonderful parts of who I am, but he's the foundation. If I'm going to build my life, he's the foundation for it. So besides that, who am I? I'm 39 years old, even though I have a lot of gray hair. I blame the white hair, the gray hair on two things. I blame it on my kids because they're very nakal. No, they're very naughty. They're actually pretty good. Richard has met my kids. But I also blame it on trying to learn Indonesian, okay? Because my brain would get so hot trying to study and learn new words, it just burned my hair white, I guess. I don't know. But I'm 39 years old. I grew up in America, in USA, and I have now spent 5 years in Indonesia. I came here with hopes to be an entrepreneur. So I had some ideas that I wanted to start a certain kind of business model that I was hoping would work in Indonesia. And maybe some of you have started something and then realized this is bigger. I can't actually accomplish this goal. And I kind of had that some when during COVID, everybody was impacted, right? All across different businesses, people were impacted. And my plans during that time became clear to me that, okay, it's not going to work. And so I shifted from being an entrepreneur to working for a company. And I'm really glad that I did. Maybe I'll just briefly tell you about that. I work for a furniture company. We export furniture from Indonesia. You guys know Indonesia is just a fantastic furniture producer. The teak here can be of really good quality, and lots of people around the world want to buy teak products. So I work in the quality control. I'm the manager for that, for overseeing the products that we export. And so I get to look at a lot of chairs and tables and other things and decide, is this good enough quality? Is this going to sell in a showroom in America? So besides my work and my background, I have a beautiful wife named Ashley, and I have 3 children. My children are age 12, 10, and 8. So I'm so thankful for them, and they're with me here near Surabaya, East Java, where we live. So that's the introduction to who I am and what my life is about. But today I want to talk about the topic of growing through thinking. We have on the wall in our house a chart that has lines on it. And my kids love to stand against that. It looks kind of like a really tall ruler that's on the wall. Okay, so imagine a kid standing against that, and he sees and he says, "Dad, I grew 1 centimeter. Dad, I grew 3 centimeters." Okay, and they're really excited about that. And all throughout childhood, people keep growing and growing and growing. And then when you reach 21, 23, 24, somewhere around there, you're already at your full height. Okay, so I'm not going to get any taller. Richard's probably not going to get any taller. And some of you may already be at your full height. But there's part of us that can keep growing, and part of us that should keep growing. And I'm not just talking about our stomachs, right? Our stomachs don't need to grow, right? That's the wrong kind of growth. I'm talking about our brains, okay? I want us to think for the next little bit here about, okay, I was excited as a kid when I got taller. Am I excited as an adult or almost adult? Am I excited about growing? my brain, my thinking, my ability to use this to accomplish things in life. You know, we need to think of it this way. The brain can be compared to a muscle, okay? If somebody has a muscle, all right, that it's something it needs work, right? If you want muscle, you have to go to the gym, or you have to do weights or push-ups, right, in your house. You have to do hard things and maybe go running, something, but you're trying to build some muscle. It's not passive, okay? If you take one thing away from this talk, I want you to remember, do not live a passive life. You know the difference between passive and active, right? Passive is that you would just be watching a movie, okay? Active would be if you were an actor or an actress in the movie, okay? We understand passive, watching, active, acting. And I am asking you to think about your brain as a muscle that needs work, that you, for the rest of your life, need to be lifting some weights to make stronger, to make it better, to become more wise. So I'm going to list a few ways that we can do that, okay? Some of them are already really popular here in Indonesia, and some of them are not really popular in Indonesia. But I hope that you will consider not whether it's what everyone else is doing, but is this the way to grow my brain? And if it is, then I want to do it, okay? All right. I want to ask you a question. What was the last book that you read? Not just I read this holy book. That's really good. I won't get into that. I do that every day, okay? But I'm just asking a regular book that you picked up. Maybe you read it online or read it on a device, or maybe you had a physical copy of a book, okay? What was the last book you read? You know, for most people, it probably was a school book. Probably goes back to, I had to read for my history book. I had to read for this. But when you get out of school, will you keep reading? A lot of people don't. A lot of people, once they finish school, they say, oh, good, I'm done with that. Put the books away. And now I'm just going to, right, watch. Or I'm going to read tiny little bits of information, tiny little articles online. I'm going to read Instagram and Twitter feeds, right? The longest, or X, the longest that you can have, right? 240 characters. Well, now they've expanded that. But I'm challenging you that one of the ways for you to be active in growing your brain is to read. I mean, read almost anything, if it's good, right? You know the difference between good and bad. But read good things, but read ideas from people who have already died, okay? You can read modern stuff that people are putting out, but it's amazing to read people who lived 100 years ago and what they experienced. And when you do that, your brain is getting a workout, because you're going to compare, man, I'm complaining because the Wi-Fi signal is weak. I mean, they had to cut down trees to build their own house, okay? So you get a different perspective. It broadens your world to read. I can remember hearing when I was in high school, which would be about SMA, SMK, when I don't remember which class, but I remember hearing someone say, readers are leaders, and leaders are readers. It's not just people who want to be leaders who should read, though. It's anyone who has a brain and wants to give it a workout. because ideas are the fuel that our brain needs, not just passively watching material, but when I'm reading, I have to be thinking. It's coming in, I'm processing it, and that's really good for your brain. Okay, you got that? What's the first thing that you could be doing to be growing your thinking ability? Be reading, okay? So I hope maybe if I ever meet you and I ask you the question, what's the last book that you read? Oh, maybe you would have an idea, okay? I'm trying to think what the last book I read was. I'm reading a couple of them right now. I was reading one on parenting, because when you become a parent, you find out there's a lot to learn. At least there is for me. Okay, so reading. What else? Something else that you can do to be growing through thinking is to be sharing your ideas with other people. Okay, this is something that I love about Indonesia. Okay, if Indonesia doesn't do a lot of reading, Indonesia does do a lot of getting together and sharing what's going on. Okay, I think that's great. I hope that you will become a part of a group somewhere. Maybe you already have a group of friends, but where you can get together and have deep talks. And not just, oh, did you hear the latest song by Taylor Swift? Yeah, it's really cool. But did you think about what she said in that song? Do you agree? Do you think she's a good example or not a good example for us? I wonder if she uses her money in a wise way or not a wise way. What do you think? Okay, now we're having a whole different discussion, but we're using our brains, we're sharing, okay? It's really good to get together with people who are not just like you. Okay. One of the things that I've loved about coming to Indonesia is that I now have more and more and more friends who have very different opinions about life than me, very different views. Okay. I have people who have different skin color who are my friends. I have people who are different religions that are my friends. I have people who love different sports, who talk different languages, okay? As you do that, it gives you a sense of understanding about the world. And people that before you thought, well, that's strange, they're so different, you start to understand why they are that way. And then you start to care for them more, okay? And your brain and your thinking is starting to expand. So the first thing is reading. Open a book, please. I beg you. Okay. If go to your library. I hope that whoever works at your library is just shocked, because this week so many people start coming in and asking, "Hey, I want a book," and it doesn't have to be a serious book. Okay. Even a novel or a fiction book can just get your mind thinking and get you being creative. Okay. So read. Number 2, share. Get it with a group of people and just open up and ask them questions and tell them about what you're thinking, and ask them, is this a good idea? You know, I'm thinking about doing this. Would you guys help me understand? Is this a good idea? And try to get friends from various cultures. Okay, that's one nice thing. If you guys have people coming from Jakarta, and maybe you have people coming from Sumatra, maybe you have people coming from Madura, maybe there's people from Yogyakarta, who knows, maybe Kalimantan, okay? If there's a big variety, don't just hang out with the people from your group. This is an opportunity to grow your thinking by being around people who are not like you, okay? Reading, sharing. Number 3, all right, if we're going to grow our minds, if we go back to the idea of trying to build muscle, if I want to build muscle, then I need to do some things, but I also need to be careful about some things, okay? So if I want to build muscle, for example, I'm not going to eat, what do I love here? Just gorengan, Okay, I'm not just going to eat fried food, okay, all day, every day, breakfast, fried food, lunch, fried food, okay? Otherwise, it's going to go the wrong way, okay? My belly's going to grow, but my muscle's not going to grow. So if I want my brain to grow, one of the things we have to watch technology, okay? Technology can seem like it will fix everything. Okay, especially now with AI. Okay, AI will write my paper for me. Okay, I mean AI can write a scriptsy for me. Okay, boom, that's great. Yeah, but guess what? My brain didn't do the work, and so my brain muscles are just going to get lazy. Okay, so we can use technology. We should use it. I use it. I'm on my laptop every day for work. I'm so thankful for technology. It lets me connect with my people that are in my company here, that are in other places, people that are part of our company all the way on the other side of the world. I'm grateful for technology. It's great. Even this is awesome. Okay. I've never used StreamYard before, but I'm impressed. This is cool. Okay. So the question is not, is technology good or bad? This is the question. Is your phone, let's just use a phone as an example, is your phone a slave to you, or are you a slave to your phone? You know, if you've ever seen maybe the movie Aladdin, and there's the magic lamp, and he rubs the magic lamp, and when he does that, the genie pops out. Okay? Because the genie that pops out is the slave to the person who does this. Well, you know what? Our phones every day are going bing, 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 bing. We have a notification. We have something new it wants us to look at. We have an update we need to do. And we're constantly, we're the slave as if we had to listen to this master instead of the other way around. Okay. Do we ever just say, no, I'm the master of my phone. I'm going to turn it off for a couple hours. I know that sounds crazy, right? I would miss something. I would miss some update on Instagram if I didn't have my phone on. Okay. But I'm telling you, this is the way to grow a brain, to develop thinking that is different than other people's. Right? Just like someone who goes to the gym is going to have muscles that are different than other people's. Okay? Everybody else looks at the guy at the gym and goes, man, I want to be like that. But not everybody's willing to put in the work. And I'm telling you that technology, as wonderful as it is, just be careful. It's so wonderful that it can trick us to where it becomes the master of us instead of us being the master over technology. Okay? All right, so we're reading, we're sharing with a group of diverse people. We're using technology in good ways, but we're not letting it control us. We're continuing to use our brain when we use technology. Okay? Now, here's another one. Creating. All right? I am an absolute firm believer in the fact that God created this world. People who say that it happened by evolution, people that say it was just by chance, random, I don't think that they're following the science, and I don't think they're listening to the only person who was there, God himself, who tells us that he created it. And he created mankind in his image with gifts, with abilities. And one of those is we can create. Okay, you don't really see this with animals, a little bit. A bird can create a nest. Okay, what else do animals create? Well, some of them maybe create patterns or some things, but it's nothing compared to the human brain that is just a factory full of creative ability. And I'm asking you, don't be passive in that. Don't always let someone else be the content creator and you are always the consumer. Okay? When we just consume, we are missing out on part of what God created us to do. Created us to create other things. So the other question is not just what book have you read lately, but what have you created lately? You say, oh, I can't build anything. I'm not good with my hands. I do like poetry. I wrote a couple lines of I'm writing a new song. You created something. That's awesome. You say, well, I'm not very good with words, but I took some pieces of wood and I was able to make this little box. You created something. That's so good for your brain. Okay. I love seeing that Orleans is a UI UX designer. That means he's a creator. Okay. He is taking just simple colors and buttons and flow of how things happen, and he's putting them together in a way that it's his creation. Nobody else can make it just like him, okay? When he does that, his brain is alive, okay? Now, if he could create something and I just use it, scroll, I'm a consumer, but he is the one who created it. And so his brain is really active, okay? So I want to invite you to think about that. I don't know what your time is like at school, if you have evening time or if you have weekend time, and you could think, what could I create? I mean, it could be as simple as, instead of I'm going to watch YouTube videos with my friends, for 4 hours on the weekend. Well, what if you made a video with your friends for 4 hours on the weekend and didn't even worry about putting it up on social media? Didn't even worry about trying to get people to give you thumbs up, to like you, to subscribe. You just did it because it's good. It's part of who you are, because you were created. And so now you create things. I guarantee if you'll do that and keep stimulating your creativity, that it's going to overflow into other parts of your life. Because once that muscle gets strong, okay, the muscle that gets strong in the gym, is it strong to carry a air galon outside of the gym? Yeah, absolutely. If you're strong if your brain gets strong by being creative, doing something, then all of a sudden you're going to realize it's going to help in school with studies. It's going to help in interviews for a job. It's going to help in just everything, guys. When you make that muscle strong, it won't just be in one area. It'll be strong for everything. So we're reading, we're sharing, we're watching technology carefully, we're creating things. What have you created lately? I wish I had time and you guys could show me, man, I made this piece of artwork, or I made this, I programmed this. Some of you may be doing coding. If you've got UI, UX designers, network engineers, probably have some kind of a coding class, okay? That's great. I love that stuff. I don't get to do much, a little bit of web stuff for our company, but create something, okay? Online, offline, do it. All right. The next one's going to be a little unique, maybe a little hard for some of us. What is it? Quiet time. Do you take time ever to just stop, spend time alone without any noise, any distraction? You're just quiet. Just like a person who's working out needs to just pump iron, they also have to let their body rest. Okay, if they go to the gym every day, and they're overworking their muscles, they're gonna actually do damage. Okay, and our brain all day is stimulated, bombarded by technology, bombarded by your teacher's lessons, okay? Just so much noise coming in that I encourage you, have a plan, even if it's for 3 minutes. I know you've got a lot of other students around. Try and find some corner of campus, somewhere where you could just sit. No phone, no earbuds, No watching something that's going on in the background. Just kind of sit for 3 minutes and just let your brain